No. Anyway, this is an STM discovery board. I brought two. There's an STM. Does anybody else want to hear this?
So you want to, so what are you covering?
The idea is that when these were first brought out, they were only programmable by, shall we say, closed source ST software, right? Yeah. But in the 5 years or so that I've had these, some people have worked on an open source method of compiling and uploading, right? So this is an ST32. We're not bothered about that at the moment, but that's the key part that does the ST link. This is the fun, if you like, STM8. Yeah, ST is sort of Singapore technology. Yeah. 8-bit processor, okay, but cheap, whatever, and can be used as a leaping place for other stuff. So the point is that you can now use SDCC to compile your C code. Yeah. And then and that's, you can download the source for that if you want. So it's all open source. Maybe I'm a bit over the top on the open source with this bit about Chromecast and stuff like this, right? But okay, so you can use an open source compiler for compiling the code, the target code, and then you can use an open source uploader, Flash, as it's called, to upload into this. So at the moment I'm just using simple Blink, which is fine. It'll do lots of other things, and I have other projects on the closed source sort of platform.
What's the use? What are you using these boards for?
Well, it's just, now that I've got it, maybe I should abandon the idea of open source or something, but if you can do GPIO type things, and you can do serial UART, input, output, and small little dinky little thing, you can have it running as a slave to do something. I've had it running as a input serial, do something, and then output again, so you can have it, you have to be creative, I suppose, with what you want to do with it. So
what's the use case of this versus an Arduino? When would you use an Arduino?
Well, similar thing.
Okay.
It came out about the same time, right?
But what are you solving for?
Pardon?
You're solving some sort of problem.
Yes, it's open source as opposed to the closed source. Some people that I introduced this to said, "Oh, you've got to register your name in order to download the software on Windows, right?" So some people say, "I'm not doing this." So at that time, 4 or 5 years ago, there wasn't really any working. There's little bits of things happening, but any working compiler and uploader. So now there is. It's been around for about 18 months or a year or something like this, right? So you can quite happily, an ST Singapore Technology produce a range of chips. There's loads of different sorts of chips, which are actually a reasonable. It's almost a competitor to AVR, to Arduino, but it doesn't have all the sort of family infrastructure. However, I've seen somebody. At least we're talking about it, and I thought about it before I read that they were talking about it, having a little daughter board that sits on here and converts it to, effectively, an R3 Arduino footprint, which means you can put your Arduino shields on here and do the same thing. So a lot of people obviously just trying to make their life compatible with something else, so which leads me to, as I'm just jumping, there's a thing here, or this thing here. This there's an STM32 on this board. This board, you might be able to recognise as an R3 for an Arduino. It's meant to put an Arduino in here. In fact, Raspberry Pi, it's a three-way arrangement. Raspberry Pi, Arduino, and STM32. So, but the company that made these things, Kukox, right, and they're selling these things through Element 14. The Kukox have gone bust. However, there's a few people that have picked this up and reverse engineered it, and it's a piggyback for a Raspberry Pi or something, not directly because the agenda's wrong, but you can still put a cable through there and put an R3 there and program the thing a bit like ArduPi. Have you heard of ArduPi? Which is Arduino that looks like a Pi, or is it the other way around? right?
So what
But-
are you using that for?
so this one's only just come alive since I've discovered this. But the point is, there's a load of STM stuff. I'm not trying to sort of say everybody go STM, but AVR have got a bit of the market on Arduinos. But I know a few people who've gone and bought. Somebody was, I think it was Andrew that was saying last time he's got an ESP that's in the form of an format R3 format of an Arduino, because it's a
ESP in an R3 format.
yeah. So you can plug your standard
Pin comparator. But what about the libraries and stuff?
We must use it.
Oh, the VMOS D1, yes.
Yeah.
The footprint is a
Oh,
so
right.
when you use the ID for the that's got the Wi-Fi on it, so it's like having an Arduino with the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So I think the other two things that I was going to say on this, I can do it, compile and upload, which I guess you believe it, just 3 commands on here, whatever. But in the process of doing this, I guess I'm a little bit, I like the command line version of doing things, right? But, and I've liked Git from about 2013. I know it's been around for a while, but yeah. So I throw lots of bits and pieces up on Git. And there's a Git K, on Linux, which often, if you just download the Git K on its own, the built image, it will produce, allow you to upload and see the links and the statements that you've got in the changes and stuff, right? And it often will let you go, it sort of suggests, Git GUI, right? So it's doing an interactive GUI for organizing your commit comments and stuff like this. But if you do it on the download image, it rarely works. So I happened to come across 2 or 3 months ago a source for Git, right? So I thought, download and build. It downloads and builds, right? And then when you click it in, you get a slightly newer version. You could say beta, but I've never had any problems with it. And you get a working Git GUI, which means you can see a lot of what you've done in the tags and comments and all the branches and the ports and the mergers and stuff like this, and it works, right? So Git K, which will let you use Git GUI, is a sort of a pet toy to go with this. So this, now that it's sort of working, you do it's quite. You just see the thing. I'll just do it for the fun of it.
Yeah, I've been there for 7 years.
That's just a,
Started generating a decent revenue.
It's an 8-bit microprocessor.
So it's an 8-bit, right? But these are cheap and competitive with AVR. And when I started this electronics club, Philip and I went to an electronics show in, I don't know, it's one of the arenas in electronics, anybody? Yeah? Okay. Well, I was talking about compilers that I'd used on some sort of historic devices, IAR and stuff like this, 78K. And he says, we've got a compiler because it's an IAR compiler, which it was originally. He said, maybe you'd like some of these for your club or something, right? So I said, yeah, okay. Well, he sent me 10, right? So I use, it was hard to get open source stuff such that a lot of people could use it that really don't want to be signing. I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but some people. But if you want to use Linux, their closed source won't work on Linux. It's only Windows, right? So if you want to just keep it on Linux and you like command line, then there is a sort of solution to this. And if I mention Rust, there's the last thing to say. There's a language Rust, RUST, and some people have, there's a Rust group where one of the targets that's supported, apart from this MSP 32, MSP 430, you can get a load of STM 32 boards. So some people have suggested, and I'm about to sort of maybe sacrifice, that's an STM32 at this point, there's an STM8 there, this is an STM32, so, and I had a discussion on the forum the other day, if I can't get this to do anything because we can't work out how to interface this because the libraries are not available anymore, at least I can play STM32. Yeah? They're not the same chip, they're a slight variant. Yeah? Yeah? 3 bytes more RAM with 1 or 3 bytes less or whatever it is. But at least, and you can snap this off and use program it and leave it. Yeah? Or you can JTAG it and all that sort of stuff, right? That was it, really. So,
Thank you.